Hi, I'm Kevin Hill, and today we're going to do a beautiful painting that's kind of looking straight through a forest. I think it should be a lot of fun. Of course, if you're enjoying these, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more painting videos. All right, let's get started. Now, as you can see, I have a basic sketch on the canvas. I did use a light green color just because I figured that would work well with the painting. There we go. So I'm going to take a little bit of our yellow and white, and not that much. There we go. Also, I put a little bit of clear gel, medium, and white paint up here. Of course, you get that on our website. It's really nice. It's a little bit sticky. It's not, I'm talking about the clear gel. The white's just titanium white. The clear gel is kind of sticky, although it thins the paint down a little. Not much, but when you put it down, it just almost grabs the canvas, and I like that. Compared to a linseed oil style medium, which would just like slips all over the place, which is good for some things, but not good for me with a background at least. Oh, so anyways, that kind of gives you an idea as to what I do. All right, up here, a little more white, and I'm just using a little filbert brush. It's probably too slow. I should probably get something else out. And just soften this. I don't want too much paint because I'm going to put other colors here in the forest. This is just a little lighting at the top. There, a little more white, maybe. We don't want it quite so yellow. Maybe just a little more white. Yeah, there. Nice. Now I'm going to load up a blue color. This is a nice light blue color on the filbert, and okay, we're going to work on, we're going to work on a background back here. And we need it to be kind of blue. And I really don't want green too much. I mean, obviously it's a forest, we'll have a little green. I don't want as much green as you'd think I want. There. This is interesting. It's kind of I'm doing a slightly different technique here of putting a really nice cool color against a warmer yellow color, and I'm going to try not to get too much green. So I'm going to work this right back here. This is a tree. This is why I sketched it out, because I don't want to have to deal with a bunch of wet paint later. There, maybe, yeah, right there. I'm going to do my best to kind of follow the sketch. And then as we go over, I know I want some trees here, which will be a little bit closer, but I also want this background color. So there, add a speck of red to this. There, and pretty much just going back. Lighter in color, lighter in value as we go back. There we go. And right up in here until it kind of fades just away. We can also blend this with the brush, the big brush. There. Now I've got a purple color here, which I've added brown to. I know it's a little bit of an odd combination, but I think it should be good for a tree back here. So I've already marked in where I want my trees to be, and I did that because I don't want too many. Ordinarily, I don't really care. Yeah, today I do care. There's one. I want one that's going to be a little bit more blue, so I'll add more blue and white to the mix. Blue and white right into the same color. You guys know how I like to mix color on top of color. Good. More blue and white. There we go. See how that pushes it further away? The more blue and white, the more distant it becomes. So there we go. I finally got it. Nice. Now I'm going to stick with that blue and white because I like it. I'm just going to drop one maybe right back in here that we didn't indicate before, maybe one or two. Not many though. And these are subtle. Okay, there. That's good. That's good. Okay, now, right over here, I'm going to go back to my purple color, which I'll try to salvage. There it is. And I'll make it lighter. And I'm going to drop in a few lighter ones, but the lighter ones are bigger than even this one. The reason I can do that and get away with it is because they're going to be washed out by the sun. That's why. That's all there is to it. Now with the same color, we'll just make some lighter ones. They're just slightly smaller. There we go. These will just be far away. And then a couple right here. Very light. I'm going to add even more white to the mix. Even more white. Keep it nice and purple though. Nice. Wipe out my brush, and then I just want to get a couple that I can just barely see. Right back here. There we go. So the big ones I've indicated, the little ones I've kind of just thrown in at random, and I think that gives us a nice forest, but I can still see the background. I just didn't want to lose all that pretty background, at least at the bottom. We're going to lose it here at the top. Oh boy, are we gonna lose it. Here's some brown and green. And let's see what this does for us. I'm gonna just start by underpainting here. Oh no, more golden, more golden, more golden. There we go. Because it's sunlit. Next, I'm gonna grab a nice soft orange color here. Nothing too bright, but just enough orange that looks sunlit, if you know what I mean. There we go. I'm just gonna scrub this in and around. This will touch more yellow and white, just to change it as you go. Now, I would be very careful about underpainting this with anything that's too dark, because sometimes when you underpaint something with something that's really dark, although it's nice, pretty tough to cover up. So if you want this area extremely washed out looking, which I do, then I think you're gonna have to go with a lighter underpainting. But here's the trick to doing this without becoming kind of flat, which could happen very easily when you do this. That's why I mention it. Which the trick here is, everywhere you don't want it to be as washed out as it's, as you do in the middle. Like, I want this painting to look a little bit washed out. This trees kind of look washed out, and I want this area to kind of be that way as well. So as I go away from the middle, where I want it to be most of the time, then I'm gonna get darker and darker and darker. Watch, there, there's my darks. So it's not like we're ignoring our darks in this painting. No, we're not ignoring them. We're just sort of leaving them out right here. And then a couple, maybe you do want a couple of darks, just a couple, not many. You can even add them at the very end as well, which I think I will. Good, and I'm leaving this spot exposed because I want this to be a little grass. Again, fairly washed out, so I'll go with a light underpainting. This is the way you kind of underpaint your little landscape. And there you go. You want your underpainting to reflect the way you want the painting to be finished, right? Because you don't want to just throw on paint and say, well, there it is. It'll be tough. You can do it, but boy, be tough. There we go. Depth, even in the underpainting. You can really tell what's going on already. Right over here, I want this area starting to get dark. Now, while we're underpainting here in a lot of dark color, I'm gonna just using the 1-inch brush, because that is what I changed to. I got so tired of using the filbert brush down there for the darks, because there was no need. There. This is a little bit faster. So I got the 1-inch brush, and I've got a lot of my dark colors, and I'm just varying the color. And I'm going with just a little bit of dark in this tree. Remember, we left this area blank. And this is fine. This is good stuff, because I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna detail it with a small brush. So I can throw in the darks with the big brush without it looking clumpy. Sometimes when you use a big brush to block in a small, because when you think about a tree, it's not really big because it's made up of lots of little things, and the lots of little things are what make it pretty. So I try to do my trees with a filbert brush or something small, but this is at least one way to save some time. There. That's good enough. And then we'll make that look like a tree and not just a clump later. So I just want the dark color down. We'll work with it. There. And while we're going as well, I just want to work on, and I'm going to be really careful here because I don't want to go overboard. Now, I don't even know if I want to do this at all with this brush, but I'll just add a little more color here, especially to the right side, because I know we're going to do some large evergreens, but I really don't want to go up any higher than that, because if we go up higher, then then we can't do our little details. So I'm going to use this brush just to, let's grab a little lighter color, just to clean up some of the areas here, fill in the canvas with paint. Obviously, everything is easy to change. I was going to say changeable, but everything's easy to change. There. Good stuff. Now I'm going to go ahead and work on a tree up here, a little evergreen tree. And I'm going to start from the middle and work out and then up and down. The reason for that is because I'm trying to get a little bit of a backlit situation going on here. And in order to get backlit situations, I like to start in the middle with the light color and then work away. So the brightest part would be where I started. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so then as you go down, I'm not quite there yet, but as you go down, you would want to, okay, there we go. You would want to add in a little more dark to the mix. And that sort of helps to, there we go, continue that little look of it being backlit. Good, and then as you go down, it gets darker. And then you kind of mush them all together. There, that background's pretty wet. I may need to wipe it with a paper towel, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And then of course you do this, watch this. You can come in here and you just go right up the middle with this, and that helps it to look just that much more, you know, kind of washed out, like the inside of the tree where it's very thick is a little bit darker. That just works. I think it looks good. There. These sort of trees only take an extra minute to do. All right, so now I've just taken off a little bit of paint. You can see not too much came off. I started to paint some rocks and I thought, let's stop. Let's stop and wipe the canvas so that we know we can get the paint to be really bright, although it looks bright. And I'm sure it would have been okay, but this way we're just that much safer. There we go. And let's just keep going. I wiped this green area off so we could stick some over there as well. I want these so bright. So ridiculously bright so that it just brings even more impact to this area. Now a little bit of a shadow can be added to these rocks to make them look better. Make them look 3D and realistic and all that good stuff. See how you can just throw it in just like you would normally. It's just this way you're not painting over the highlight as well, which I think just makes it that much better, makes it that much brighter. Of course we're going for bright in this painting. Well, contrast between bright and dark actually. Well, light and dark. There. This painting is totally about contrast. Sometimes it's more about contrast and sometimes more about composition. This one's a contrast painting. Doesn't have a ton of elements, but what it does have is light. Boy, does it have light, doesn't it? There, and that's fun. So sometimes, you know, you want to do a painting with a lot of different things. Sometimes you want to do a simple painting, but make it kind of crazy with the light. That's what we're doing today. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop in the indication of perhaps a little birch tree. Maybe it's not really a birch tree. Maybe it's just a light bark tree, but I want it to have that white look to it. Of course, we'll do more with this later. I'm just working a little bit on it right now. There. Not too bright just yet. Let's not get it too bright. There. Okay, so that's kind of my thought. Now I'm going to slide right over here and do the same thing over here. Now maybe these will be brighter. Not too much paint here. Well, actually there is some decent bit right there, but so you can kind of brush those right in. And then we'll kind of leave it broken. See how you can leave it broken? So, you know, I'm not exactly sure how we'll highlight all this, but just sort of roll with it. That's kind of what this painting has been about, rolling with it. Now, I went ahead and kind of abandoned the idea of doing our stream. It was just not, I did it a couple different ways. I was playing around with the angles, trying to, you know, sketch. It's why you sketch first. Boy, can you save some time if you do some sketching first. And I just couldn't quite get it to where I wasn't adding anything to the composition. So this will just be like a little river bed, and maybe there's water kind of trickling through the rocks. Maybe there's not, I don't care. Let the viewer figure that one out. I've done my job here. I've just made it look like a little creek, a little riverbed, maybe stones, or maybe the river continues off this way. You know, who cares? There you go. It's art. You don't have to make it perfect every single time. Now really the last big thing we got to get done here is our tree. We've been planting this tree from the very beginning, so this is not a big deal. And remember, we really limited the amount of paint up here. In fact, there's still blank areas. This is cool. Now these trees that I just painted, I'm thinking that we probably are going to have to paint them back in. I don't know which ones I want to be buried and which ones I want to stand forward. I know some of them should stand forward, but yeah, we'll figure it out later. Now this is maybe not an evergreen. Maybe this is more of a leaf tree, so make sure that you make a distinction when you paint this. Don't make the structure look like an evergreen, although it's very tempting to want to do that because we've been doing evergreens so much over there. So that's kind of just a thought, you know, obviously if you want it to be an evergreen, that's fine. If it turns out to be an evergreen, just go with it, right? There we go. So I'm just going to do this over and over again. And that really fills in this one blank area that we had. We're not going to do a whole lot. We're not going to put a lot of emphasis in the foreground. Maybe just a little more detail, but not much. I want to keep a lot of the interest here in the middle. a lot of the light in the middle so that we have an effective composition using lighting. It's really fun. All right, well, I think we're done. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Don't forget to check out our website, DVDs, and brush line. Thanks for watching.